The SmackDown after Thanksgiving. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Matt Morgan. And Matt Morgan, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Tonight's SmackDown, so exciting, so much going on. I'm really curious where this is all going in the build towards TLC. I mean, you would think this would be a throwaway show tonight, but they actually brought it.
They did. Now, in the beginning, I couldn't tell if you were being sarcastic or not, and you were going to crap on this show tonight. I thought this was a good show, too.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, we got KO versus Roman being built, Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn versus Big E. Like, there's just a lot going on with people that we say, hey, you should do more with these guys.
Yes.
We'd like to see stuff happening with them. Now, I know you're disappointed that we didn't get Otis versus King Baron Corbin that we were promised in that opening match. I mean, you know, they really did bait and switch, pull the rug out from under us there.
They did. That's the only reason I tuned in.
Actually, I hate to say this, but Jey Uso beating the crap out of Otis, like, really put me in a good mood to start the night. I was like, yes, I'm on board with this.
You cannot turn on Otis. You're his biggest fan.
Am I? I mean,
you
I
really are. On this podcast, you are.
I thought the Fast Times at Ridgemont High video vignette they did was really clever. I thought the stuff with him and Mandy was okay, but then with Dolph and Sonya, it was kind of stupid. But look, man, no, I give him all the respect for getting over with a gimmick that personally I was embarrassed as a wrestling fan. And not only as a wrestling fan, as a Husky boy, I was embarrassed for what he was doing on the TV. But I give him credit for getting that over, for making it work. You know,
okay.
I mean,
yeah.
Game recognized game, man. You got to say, hey, this ain't my thing, but the crowds react to it. They're into it. And then amazing that WWE was just like, oh, you like that? Well, now we're going to punk him out. Like, he's going to lose the girl, lose the Money in the Bank briefcase, lose his tag team partner. And he's in matches with Baron Corbin that aren't even happening. That's how much of an afterthought he is now. Who did he piss off backstage? Otis was on top of the world 3 months ago. And now he's going to be spending more time in catering.
Very simple answer. Vince is bored. Vince is bored by him right now. He's taking that little action figure of Otis and he's putting it in the back. That's what he's doing right now. And now he's bringing out others.
It's like in Clash of the Titans where Zeus, they had the figurines, and they were setting him down, and that was control people's fate. That's what Vince is like backstage. He is the Zeus of WWE.
Okay.
Yes, you're the only person old enough to get that reference in our entire audience, Matt. So tonight, though, look, I think there were some things that weren't great about tonight, but overall the show moved fast. I thought Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan, both of those would be match of the night on any show they're on. So to give us both of those in one night, I think Sami Zayn and Big E, they're really doing some potential story building there. No, I like this. And I think with Roman, look, the biggest danger to any talent is when it starts to get old and repetitive. And with Roman and Jey at the beginning, it was like, oh, here we go again. I liked Roman's intensity. It was making me laugh to think of other situations that he would be chastising his family in. I was tweeting. I said, I'd like to see him in a Netflix movie where he's in a Christmas decoration competition with other families on the block. And he's just telling, like, you've brought shame to our family. Where's your intensity? Are your kids proud of you? Like, I like that he's just so over the top with it. But then again, like, we've seen this before with him dressing down Jey. But the way that they kind of flipped that and started to tweak that to say, okay, KO and Roman, how can you not be on board with that match?
To be, KO kind of bores me lately, and I'm a big KO fan normally. I hate him as a babyface. It doesn't click for me. But his wrestling obviously was really good tonight. The match was great.
Absolutely.
But real quick, and you're pointing to Roman. Roman's only been doing this. He wrestled him just last month, right? Jey Uso.
Roman wrestled Jey. Yeah, that was a Clash of Champions, a pay-per-view before last.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because it doesn't feel like it's that long since he's been dressing him down and big dogging him.
Well, it's gone back and forth. I feel like he's given some version of this speech. Like, you've brought shame to our family. In fact, Thanksgiving weekend's not over. I'm going to start calling up random family members and just giving them the same speech Roman gave Jey tonight, because I think I need to motivate the Rubenstein clan to do better.
Yes, you should.
We should all do that. So everybody, I want you to call your families this weekend.
I don't need to, because they already recognize. They know who the head of the table is. They know who the high chief is.
You say that when you went and met your wife's parents in Hawaii and you were just like, hey, everybody, new tribal chief in town. This guy. How'd that go?
It said, "Oh, Hallie boy, get out of our house, brother."
I've been meaning to ask you that. That's why for 4 years I've been like, I wonder, like, did they ever actually refer to Matt as Hallie? For some reason, every time I watch the Surfer movie,
I'm sure behind my back when she first brought home 7 foot 300,000 pound Matt Morgan to their house. Yeah. I'm sure. Like, who the hell's Hallie boy you're with here? I'm sure. You know, behind my, not being it's not. I don't take it as disrespectful either. You get used to it.
I didn't even know that was a real. I just thought that existed in surf movies. I wasn't aware that was like a real thing.
No, it's a real thing.
Interesting.
But it's just like, it's no different than like a bunch of my black friends calling me white boy growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so I never took offense to it.
No, I understand. But no, I think this was good though with Roman tonight. This was a good way to kind of pivot it a bit. It's okay, but let me ask you this though. So Roman is pushing Jay. And Jay is having these banger matches, right? And there's been a couple of them, one with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Jay's had like these great matches. Again, like in my mind, Jey Uso is a superstar. Like, why is he the sidekick? Why is he like the underling, the underdog? Like, I almost want to see Jay get spun off into his own thing.
Because that's the heat. That's the sympathy.
I know. But there's a difference though, man. Like Murphy with Rollins, Murphy's good, but you weren't like, man, Murphy's really...
No,
like
that's why this
superstar
works. That's why this works. And I would not ever say Jey Uso, no matter how great he's doing, is the bigger superstar than Roman. That's not what you're saying.
I'm more invested, if that makes sense.
Because you're because you're a proverbial babyface cheerleader.
It's true.
You are the underdog, especially, and the guy coming out of a tag team that wasn't supposed to be a singles star is now becoming a single star, and you are going to continue to push that. But you're right. He's had great matches. Fantastic matches. I still hate his haircut. I'm sorry. I can't get past the haircut.
It is a pretty bad haircut. You know what it is, though, Matt? It's sort of that hipster thing, right? It's like, I don't want to like the thing that they tell me is popular. I want to find my own thing.
Did you like skinny jeans?
Well, I'm not. My body type, eater of worlds, is not really the skinny jeans style.
Okay. Well, even if they were, you wouldn't wear them because they're dorky. And I clowned everybody backstage. TNA that tried to wear them. I'm sorry. I know they were much more in style than what I was wearing at the time. My Tommy Hilfiger jeans from 1998. But nonetheless, I still clown them for it because I stuck to my guns.
Yeah. I think it's more like in the early
generational guns. The
early 2000s, when all the kids were listening to the Backstreet Boys and the NSYNC and the O-Town, and I was like, I like the Strokes.
Best year ever.
I like the Strokes. I like some of the more indie stuff, maybe a little Moby, so, like stuff that was like popular, but not the super popular mainstream. Oh, just think, Matt, if you'd been on Tough Enough a year sooner, you could have overlapped with O-Town on MTV with Making the Band and Tough Enough at the same time. Think of what that press junket would have been like.
I remember watching that, actually.
Making the Band, not the Diddy years, but the first ones with Luke Roman, like
I watched it all the time.
Seriously underrated show.
It was on CBS. I watched it all the time.
Yeah, it's very good. Very good. Anyhow, so we opened this up tonight with Roman chastising Jay about his performance at Survivor Series. Paul Heyman there. And just, saying he's got to bring the intensity. He's got to do it. Said he looks at him like he's some bitch in the locker room asking for leftovers. Again, give this exact speech when you call your family this weekend and you're trying to motivate them as they go into December. But we saw where this was going, right? Jay walks off. Otis is coming out for his match. I was like, oh, please just walk up and punch Otis. Just punch him right in his face. And he didn't. I was disappointed, but he came out with a chair and beat the crap out of Otis, and I was happy. I don't know what that says about me.
Means you have problems. You have issues. Because
don't we all?
You're an Otis fan. I'm really disappointed to hear this.
I'm not. I'm really not.
I am disappointed, my friend.
I don't know, man. Don't know. Krana Shah, $5 saying Roman being the disapproving father and Heyman being that brother that enjoys watching Jay get yelled at with that oblique face.
That's pretty funny.
It was good. Brett Murphy had a good time celebrating my mom's surprise 60th birthday party. Who knows, next October all hell might break loose on the 30th. Keep it up, fellas. 30 years old. Matt, can you imagine being even 30 again? If you could just travel back in time to like 2006, 2007?
I wish.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I am so old right now, you guys. It's not even funny. not even funny.
Like, this is the thing, speaking of Thanksgiving, it was maybe only in the last 10 years did I eat Thanksgiving dinner and then I needed a nap after eating a big meal. Like, when did that start? That is some middle-aged shit.
That is. I'll give you some more middle-aged stuff. Is in the middle of your work day, you're falling asleep. In your chair, just like
yes,
and your snoring wakes you up. That's bad. That's exactly what my dad used to do.
I'll tell you, since I've been working from home, I've been doing the midday nap. Some days I'm getting up around 5 or 6 in the morning, work till about noon or 1, and it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a nap for 2 or 3 hours and wake up, catch the end of the workday.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I know. It's
working for yourself must be nice. You can do that.
It is double-edged sword. Leon Duncan, $5. Last Friday, we totally missed a Friday movie reference when Dolph asked New Day, "What are you doing here? Trying to get fired any day off?" Yes.
Friday, I get it.
I like the Friday series. It's good. I like Ice Cube.
Yeah, that was great. I do the most overplayed video VHS cassette in my room, my dorm room in college.
Really? Wow.
Definitely.
Huh. Interesting factoid. So we were robbed of Otis versus King Baron Corbin, but instead we saw Chad Gable console Otis and help him to the back. Poor Chad Gable. Like,
no poor anybody. This was a great segment. Had to happen. Next.
Yes. And you should write Otis a note and say, Otis, I was joked by the Mexicools. Looked how it worked out for me. On second thought, never mind. SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits versus Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. I thought this was going to be a nothing match, and it was really good. And I'm not sure how I feel, though, about Roode and Ziggler getting the win.
They shouldn't have, but
no.
By the same token, they're a very credible team. They're very good. I don't know why you would think the match itself would be good.
Because they're not booked as a credible team. They're booked as filler. I mean, I hate to say it, but they are not
booked that way. But once the bell sounds, they're very good in that. They're very good in the ring. Like, no matter how you're booked, once the bell sounds, you can do whatever you want to do unless the match is like 2.5 minutes long, and then that's it. Then that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if you give Bobby Roode and Dolph any kind of time, or any of these guys any kind of time, they're going to pull off, for the most part, decent matches, even though they're being booked like crap.
Well, it's interesting. I think they're booked much more credibly as a tag team than Dolph has ever been booked as a single star, at least in the last 5 years.
Yes.
But this was good tonight. I think it was good to kind of give them a little something. But the Street Profits just
shouldn't have to beat the champs to do it, though.
Yeah, Street Profits are such superstars, and I think, I just think this is going to be a build, but it is what it is. Street Profits are going to go over in the end and retain.
Yes.
But this was a really good match, and it was nice to see Bobby Roode and Dolph get a chance to actually wrestle a bit.
Yes.
Micah Wallace Seals says $5. Sorry to change the subject, but did you watch Talking Shop A Mania 2? Pretty sure I've never laughed as hard as I did. LOL.
I was looking for it. Do me a favor, tell me where to find that, because I really was looking that up on that app I watch the AEW pay-per-views on.
I thought it was on Fight TV.
Oh, maybe that's why.
I don't know.
I was watching on the other one that I was looking for it on the one that AEW has their pay-per-views on.
Bleacher Report?
Yeah.
Not on Bleacher Report.
Okay, I'll download Fight TV again and get it, because the first one was hilarious to me. Hilarious. I thought we should have done a podcast on it, actually.
No, I heard it was really good. And love to see those guys getting to do their thing outside of WWE and getting appreciated more.
They're so funny.
Oh, they absolutely are. Nicest guys, too.
Yeah.
So we saw so we saw Kale in the back with Rey Mysterio. Now they've accepted Murphy and Aaliyah. King Corbin interrupts. This is Ray. This is Dominic. So that sets up a match for later in the night. Controversial stance. Do we need to see the Undertaker final farewell video again tonight for the third time in a week?
No.
Yeah. No. I mean, just let it go, man. Let it go. Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. I would have said this was match of the night. I would have said just on paper this is match of the night, but I really like the main event tonight.
This was my match of the night by a very slim margin. But I love this match.
So they were setting it up that if Daniel Bryan won this, he was going to get an Intercontinental title shot. Daniel was pushing to have the Intercontinental title defended weekly, make that sort of the TV title on SmackDown.
Yep.
Maybe they're still going there. You know, I like that there's a couple different ways this could go. Sami winning by countout, I thought was interesting.
It was.
I mean, Daniel doesn't need to be protected at this point, but it kind of works for Sami, though, to have a less than honorable win.
Of course it does. And now it's on the Big E.
Yeah. And I think, and that's the craziest part, is the prospect of Sami Zayn versus Big E actually has me more excited than this match tonight. This was a great match.
Here's the catch, though. Yeah. Big E needs to go over, obviously, and become Intercontinental Champion. That's for sure. But what he really needs is a Sami Zayn to really put together some really incredible multiple matches with him. So people are dying to see Big E become heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
The problem is he's on a show with Roman right now where he ain't giving up the title anytime soon. So it's a conundrum.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Because one win over Sami won't be enough, in my opinion. Big E, they've done a terrible job with lately, and they've not given him meaningful wins on television.
Well, I think it depends on what the plan is for Roman and Mania. I mean, I don't know.
Build Big E, right? They could build him for that. I buy it.
If it's Roman versus The Rock, I understand why they want to have a title in that picture. That if any match does not need a title, it is that one.
It is that. Yeah, I agree.
But I understand why they'd want to put it there, because it's like, The Rock is coming back to compete for the
championship.
WWE, the championship. That's a good headline.
Sure.
Although then again, no one thinks The Rock wants to be champion.
No, and I disagree with Raj tremendously on the fact that because of his movies and he might get hurt and it's a real big business he's in now, he's not going to come back. He makes the rules. Do you not get it? He's the measuring stick now in Hollywood. Legit. Yeah. Has his own company, home production company. Well, it's not his own. It's not his own movie that he's producing. He could do whatever he wants.
It's true.
He could literally go out in the middle of the set, take a steaming dump, give everybody deuces, and say, "I'll be back next week to fulfill my obligations," and no one's going to say anything to him about it.
Yeah. That was a good Raj impression, by the way. I heard Raj did an impression of me the other night on this podcast.
Oh, well, I was asking him to do you not paying attention, like you're doing right now. And when I was talking, I was pretending I was giving my insight on matches while you just drift off and not pay attention. I'm like, yeah, man, that's pretty good. Raj goes back and like, yeah, that was pretty good, man. I forget. You got to watch it.
I have to read the recap on Wrestling Inc. I have to pay attention to the chats, to the super chats, to the Twitters, as it were.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot, Matt. And I hang on every word you say. No, I think it's important that I digest everything. And I appreciate your insights. And I go, good point. Valid. I hadn't thought of that before.
You don't. You're like,
touche.
Why is Bobby John getting into a fight with Susie Q on the chat room? What the freak? Oh, shit, Matt, you're done. I agree. That was awesome. It was a good match. Yes, it was, Matt. Yes, it was. Well, Matt, really quick. So tell me, what was it like when Big Show was talking shit about you backstage and buried you to Vince because he's being a 7-foot, 500-pound wuss? What was that like? Back to the chat room. I'm going to interlog his head here. Back to the chat room. All right, Susie. No, Susie, don't say that. I love the women's division. No, I love the women's division way more than you. Way more than you. And you get into it as a phony name on there. I know it. You have an alias in the chat room.
You would hear me typing. My keyboard makes the noise. See, you hear that? You hear that? Yeah.
I do.
You have to get a stealthy keyboard today on Black Friday. So I can sit there and be and be like, Glenn, why are you so awesome? Super chat $5. Yeah. So backstage, Sami was celebrating. Jey Uso beating up Daniel Bryan in gorilla position, working him over. Kevin Owens making the save, setting up KO versus Jey for later in the show. Natalya versus Bianca Belair, and as Brett Murphy with his $2 super chat points out, Bianca Belair, enough said money.
Definitely.
She was great tonight.
Definitely. She was.
Bailey being on commentary. Bianca versus Bailey. No title involved. Fantastic feud.
Yes, it is, and it's a star-making angle for her, I think. Bel-Air's already starred. We all know it. We're waiting for the WWE to finally acknowledge it with a major win over a major talent, and that's her. It's Bailey, and that needs to happen next.
There was a great false finish tonight. I don't know if you caught it in that match when she was submitting Natalya. Mm-hmm. And then her shoulders were down. I'm surprised. I hope they end on that in a future, using that to do a double pin, like who beat who.
Me too.
It was a great little moment that ended in a kick out, but I think that move has a lot of potential in the future.
Always, yeah.
No, this was really good tonight. She is an absolute superstar. Her entrance, her mic work, everything about her. I think, and her versus Bailey is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. The promos too will be really good too.
Absolutely.
For the build to it.
She got to go back to whipping people with her hair, though.
No question. It's very heelish, right? Though
that's
why it's kind of heelish.
I mean,
although Bailey is a big enough heel where she can do it to her, and we all would cheer.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be like, "Oh no."
It's cocky. It's a cocky thing, but I think Bailey deserves it because everyone hates her so much because she does a good job of being a heel.
Yes. Billy Curtis, $2, saying the new Hornswoggle parody of AJ Styles is hilarious, by the way.
I did see that. If you're talking about the spot on Impact, where he wrestled, what's his name? Oh, God, from the North.
From the North.
The tag team, the North.
Oh, for the tag team.
Adam Page, or whatever his name is. Ethan Page. He wrestled Ethan Page. They had one of the Good Brothers come out and basically say, tonight, your opponent is very phenomenal. And AJ Styles' name and music came on their Titantron. And out comes Swoggle. And they announced him as AJ Hornswoggle, something like that. And Swoggle did his entrance and, no.
Yeah.
No, wasn't good. And I love Hornswoggle. He's funny as hell. But
I was at the Starcast where Swoggle showed up with the long hair, and it was very funny, the AJ Styles comparison that weekend.
The soccer mom haircut?
Yeah, like a year and a half ago. They really waited too long.
Yes. I know what you mean, yes.
Also played a lot of blackjack with Swoggle. I'll have you know that some might say the $5 table is where it's at. Swoggle likes a good $3 table. You know, money lasts a little longer. Playing $3 blackjack at the Riviera with or the Tuscany, with Swoggle in Vegas. It's one of my high points of Starcast weekend. Terry Allen Jr. $2.40. No Shinsuke
Terry.
and Cesaro team, really weak division. They can bring them back at any moment, and they will be super credible.
Yeah, and it was a time for a different tag team to shine tonight. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Justin Lopez, $5, saying, E can still win the Rumble if he becomes the Intercontinental Champion, but also E going in this direction tells me Rock and Roman is now likely for Mania. I mean, they can put E into the title picture at any time. I think it's their hope for Rock and Roman in Mania, but who knows?
I will swear on a stack of Bibles, I feel that's strong. It will be Rock versus Roman at Mania. What month are we in right now?
We are about to end. We're about to enter December. We are days away from December.
February, March, April. So they're 5 months away. Yes, most definitely.
Okay.
I am going to guarantee it.
Guarantee it. Wow.
We'll go back and replay this moment where Matt Morgan either incorrectly or correctly says, I guarantee Rock will be there. First Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
So Murphy versus King Baron Corbin. Notable match in the sense that Dominic took Corbin's foot off the ropes tonight. Right. Weird to see Mysterio's kind of heelish. Corbin, the babyface, question mark?
In any other context, I'd say yes, but no.
Yeah.
Baron is such, this is what I was just saying earlier about Bailey. He's such a heel. It's such a good job of being a jerk that you hate him so much that even when people cheat to beat him, you cheer it because he does it all the time. So he's got to get a dose of his own medicine.
Yeah, it's sort of like Bugs Bunny was an asshole, but he was still a babyface.
He really was a jerk, Bugs Bunny. You're right.
Yeah.
Look what he did to poor Elmer Fudd all the time. Now,
all
granted,
the time.
Elmer Fudd was hunting to shoot him, to be clear, though. To be fair.
You know, Nimrod is now an insult because Bugs Bunny was sarcastically calling Elmer Fudd Nimrod after, I believe, the Great Hunter. And what was it? I believe it was in the Bible.
Wait. That's where the word Nimrod comes from?
Well, Nimrod originally is a biblical figure who was a great hunter. I believe in the Old Testament.
In our day and age in the playground, when someone says Nimrod, I always thought that was a very weak rank out.
Because Bugs Bunny said it to Elmer Fudd, like sarcastically, like Nimrod, like, oh, you're a great hunter, sarcastically.
Right.
And people took it as an insult, and then Nimrod became an insult.
So why did it take all the way to like the skateboarding and like TNC surf design surf kick that happened when we were kids? If you remember, it was around the time like Dudical or Radical.
Dudical
were like really big words, if you remember.
Yes.
Late 80s, mid 80s, late 80s. That's when I remember hearing Nimrod for the first time.
I remember hearing it as an insult as a kid, and then when I learned the story later, I was like, "Oh, that's actually kind of interesting." Shows the cultural influence of Bugs Bunny and the.
I always thought Nimrod was like a surfer rank out, like to somebody. That's why I always thought it was weak.
Yeah, it's a little strange. Only Nimrod discussion happening on any wrestling podcast tonight. I guarantee you on this one. So we saw Big E, that segment backstage with Sami Zayn. He got the better of Sami Zayn, gripping his hand for the shake, keeping it for 10 seconds. I love that he paused on the 5 count and referenced the 5 count.
Big time. That was awesome. That was awesome. Different, right?
This is going to be a really good match. It's going to be a really good feud.
It really will be. Oh, yeah. Hey, if you remember, he was doing that.
Yeah.
When he first came in and they first put him over as a heel, he was doing, was it the 5 count or was it 4?
No, it's 5, and it was with Vicky Guerrero. He was like, she was like his manager. Yeah. Back in NXT. Like old NXT, like year 1 NXT. But no, I think Big E, look, it is interesting, Sammy also dropping that Big E was Intercontinental Champion before. I'd forgotten that. I always forget that. That was shortly after his debut, right?
Yes, he was.
In the main roster.
Yep.
But this is going to be good. These promos are going to be great. I mean, Sammy is just on fire on the mic. Even the stuff he was doing before the match with Daniel, talking about it's unfair because he's wrestling the day after Thanksgiving, and then he's talking about Thanksgiving and like what a corrupt and effed up holiday it is. I mean, like, and if you follow Sammy's Twitter, like, this is a lot of like pure Sammy, and I think he makes some valid points more often than not. But I love that he's getting to be him. It's like with the environmental thing that Daniel Bryan was doing. It's like Vince is like, hey, you know that nonsense you're always spouting about, you know, your views and what you believe? Do that and we'll turn you into a heel. Like, it's funny. There's no other business where that happens, where the boss thinks like he's getting one over on you by letting you go out there and speak your mind.
I don't disagree with anything you just said.
Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But it's gold, and it's working really, really well. Not working so well, Billie Kay at ringside. Begging for anything to Colin Graves with her headshots and her resume. This is I feel so bad for Billie Kay. I mean,
what did she do wrong? Like, I don't understand this at all.
Now, one might argue, Matt, she's still on TV. She's still on a national broadcast on what is the A show, being seen by millions of people on major network television. Okay. But is this how you want to be seen as like the thirstiest performer on the roster?
Unless it turns something quickly, then no. I'm sorry, no. Just because, okay, I'll give you my analogy. Just because 1,000,005 cars drive on by and rubberneck and stare at something, oh yeah, a car accident, does not mean that friggin' car accident is a draw. It doesn't mean that that's a good thing that's going to bring people in from all parts of the country to pay money to watch it. There is an analogy here, and it's that just because something's on TV doesn't make it automatically a good thing. You could be booked badly, and it can damage you. Again, Jim Cornette of Don't Get Any on You if you don't have to. So if you can stay off tonight's TV, don't say anything to the writers, Matt, because I saw the show. It's terrible. You don't want anything to do with the embarrassment that's about to ensue to all the wrestlers, unfortunately, that are on tonight's broadcast here at TNA Impact. I'll never forget that. And I learned a good lesson. He was right.
Yeah, I don't know if being off TV is better than being on TV with this.
Yes, it is. You want to be off of it, not doing this crap, and then being on in a situation in which you have a match, you have an opportunity to actually do something that's even remotely close to your character or what your character is trying to portray. Getting a match at least, but not doing that stuff. She's better than that. She's better
great.
than that.
I think that's the point, is that she is like really funny, really talented. We know she can wrestle.
It's not believable, and it's not believable. It's another thing. If they try to make her do something embarrassing, okay, then make it believable. Make it believable. This is not believable. I'm sorry. She looks like $1 million. She wrestles like $1 million. She is hilarious, like you said on the microphone. I always thought she was the better of the two. I really did. She stole more of the attention away from me when I would see the two of them cut those promos. I thought she was the better of the two on the mic. I did.
She's the Laverne. If they're Laverne and Shirley, she's kind of the more.
I kind of felt that way from NXT. All right. And then on when they debuted. In fact, I thought the other ones like colored her hair the same to look more like her when they weren't exactly identical at first.
Yeah. No, I think she's got legit comedic chops. She can wrestle. I think Peyton Royce is talented, but especially with her recent style change, Peyton, there's that danger of kind of like you said, like the sameness, right? It's like we talk about this all the time with the women. Why is the women's division so awesome? Because for the most part, they're such unique, dynamic characters, each with their own look and style. Yes. And I think that if Vince were to proverbially get his creative input, there's a chance of her becoming too much like other female talents in appearance and character.
Yep.
Which is an issue. Intense donator, $5. Hey, can we appreciate Owens' intensity even as a face tonight? By the way, I donated one saying get rid of Raj, Glenn. I'm not new. That's ballsy. Paying Raj money to say get rid of him. Raj appreciates that. Raj loves when all hate mail comes with a $sign in front and some zeros at the end.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Carmella backstage. So this was supposed to be like her crowning moment of awesome, right? She's like declaring it, like bagging on Sasha. I run this place. Somebody, I call the shots, give the orders, snaps her fingers for somebody to give her a glass of champagne. Glass appears, and the boss rings on the hand. Sasha Banks, who then attacks Carmella, drops her. Bank statement, submission on the floor. How is this credible that Carmella actually has a shot in this feud?
It's not. Why'd you call it her crowning achievement? It's supposed to be her crowning achievement.
Well, it was supposed to be. This was the time she was out there saying, like, you saw all the times I attacked Sasha. I run this place. This is my thing. This was like her. She was talking like she was given a She was talking like she was having the kind of week Romans had. Like, she's
I got
the female head. Yeah.
Yeah. I was fine with this. But this is the downside of bringing her in as a heel.
Yeah.
And having her go against, the hottest act right now next to Roman.
Yeah.
Sasha sure as hell ain't losing that angle. No way.
No, not at all. And Sasha just beat Asuka at Survivor Series.
So, yeah. I would have kept them from being physical.
Yeah.
Let her talk her smack and let her walk off. That's all. Let her go off strong.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I want better for Carmella. Even in a promo where she was saying, like, I'm tired of doing what the fans want. It's like, you got seriously over with everything you've done to date. And now you're doing this gimmick. I don't know. Like, I really like Carmella. I've been a fan of hers for such a long time. And I think that this is just tough to have her off the air, repackaged, doing this gimmick that's a super confident, cocky gimmick, and she's going to get her ass handed to her by Sasha at TLC.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's see what she does with it, though, because she has gotten everything over. Let's see what she does with this.
Yeah, it's just tough. But I like this. I like the choreographed it. Yeah, it's cheesy when we saw the hand with the boss rings, but you know what? This really worked tonight. This was good for Sasha. Yeah, just to have that moment. I thought this was well done. And then the main event, this got like a half an hour tonight. Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens. Man, and this is the thing about it. Roman has had some good matches since his heel turn. Every match Jay has. Think about this, Matt. This was like the third or fourth time they've let him out there with the last half hour of the show and went, do your thing. And he has a banger match. And, he lost by DQ tonight only for this to set up KO versus Roman. I'm just saying Jay is a goddamn star. Great wrestling ability, brings the intensity. I hope there's a light at the end of the tunnel where he gets to jump off and spin out into his own thing. And it's not just going to be him and Roman's shadow.
He will. It's going to take a while to get there because he is the B to Roman's A in the storyline right now. And he's a very important B subplot of Roman's story of being a heel right now. That is a big time main event storyline that he needs Jay to play a major role in right now.
Yeah.
It's critical. It's crucial. And it's going to be crucial in my opinion, to build to the match versus Rocket Mania. So I'm going to argue that this is going to go through Mania. And you get your moment with Jay as a singles act that's over, and the whole. You got to remember his brother's going to be coming back from injury too. So what's going to happen then? Are they going to mysteriously become two singles acts, twins? No,
I know
that'll never happen. That'll never happen.
Think about that too.
How do you do that? I'll tell you how you do it. Make them turn heel and start slipping one another in and out of the ring.
I mean,
I used to like that.
Kind of a twin magic.
Yeah, I used to pop for that. I thought that was cool. Smart.
Well, your wife's a twin, right? We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And didn't you just like pepper her with these questions
all the time? I was like, how did you guys not like switch classes on each other to screw with the teacher? Like, how did you guys never do this when going out on a date with a guy? I totally would have done that. I'm like, ew, no way.
And just been like, so does Double Mint reach out to you, or are you supposed to send something to them? Like, how does that work?
So many twin questions. So many twin questions I would ask them. Yes.
That was like the coolest thing. Like, remember the sitcom Double Trouble when we were growing up? It was the twin girls. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I love that show. That was like the first time I remember having a crush on like a celebrity. Was like that show, because those twins I thought were so cute when I was like 8 years old. I was like, oh, the Seagal twins. They're very pretty. Exclusive news insider, but confident name, Buck99, saying Roman heel with crowd entrance would be awesome. I don't know that he's gonna be booed by the crowd. I don't think the crowd's gonna play along with it. I think the crowd's gonna cheer him.
I don't know. I think they're gonna cheer him too, but I don't know. We've already heard him at Nuclear Heat already, guys. We've heard him booed out of arenas already. Think about it. We have. Not some people, not some cheering for him either. I mean, the whole arena booing him.
Like, so loud. So loud.
So we have heard that. I don't know. I'd be personally cheering him because I like the heel character that much, which is terrible because I should know better. I'm supposed to play along. So if any of you guys go see when the shows open up again to fans and you get a chance to go along with it and boo him, please. Don't mess Vince, because Vince is like, I was right the whole time. I know it. These fans love him. I know it. And they'll switch him back to baby. Don't do it.
Tina Miller saying my twin nephews will say they're the other twin when they get into trouble in the rate. I'm glad that is a thing. Still in this day and age. But you got to think, like, for Jeff Hardy, again, not a twin situation, but Jeff Hardy probably very relieved and inspired when Matt was not with the company. Jeff was getting to do his own thing. They
always looked at Jeff as the star over Matt, though. Always.
Yeah. I don't know. So for the Usos, it's got to be tough, though, man. I mean, it's like blessing and the curse, being like, hey, we're really tied together,
Maybe they do try and put them on different shows, who knows?
Yeah. Bad Keith Gaming, $5. Does anyone notice Roman takes way longer to get in the ring since he's gone heel, which is pretty awesome?
Of course it is.
I was thinking of, is it though? I was thinking about that tonight, and it was like,
Dickie.
When I'm watching TV, let's not wait 10 minutes till somebody speaks a word.
I love it. He's so arrogant. He's taking his time. It's making you all wait to watch him wrestle.
Yeah. So this main event tonight ended in DQ because Jey Uso beat Kevin Owens with a chair.
But this was a really good match, like you said.
Really good.
On any other SmackDown for me is definitely match of the night. And any argument can be made it was the match of the night tonight, easily. I just personally liked a smidgen better because of the characters involved, I think, maybe more with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
And DB, I love both of those talents so much.
And Owens got it back a bit after the DQ, dropped Jay with a stunner. But I really like this. He was looking at the camera with Heyman and Roman watching backstage on the monitor. And, then sitting on the announce table, yelling at Reigns to come find him. Owens said he's the head of the table now. Would you have thought even a year ago, we're going to be going into, a major feud. Kevin Owens is the baby face and Roman Reigns is the heel.
Lord, no. No, I think WWE, I think they had the gumption to turn Roman heel. I thought they were going to fight it tooth and nail to the end of the poor guy's career. With him as a proverbial John Cena, Hulk Hogan babyface.
No, it's great they did it. It's great they did it. It's
yes,
been going very well.
That's why we all got to get behind it more if you have not.
Exclusive news insider Buck99 saying we need another talent like Brock. I don't know that they do.
They don't have another talent like Brock. That's what makes Brock, wait for it, Brock. It's not just how they built him. Yes, that was a great job of how they built him. Brock is also once in a lifetime generational athlete. There's not a 295-pounder, 6'3", that can do what he does. As explosive he is, and the best part, the addition of realness.
Yeah.
You just don't get to incorporate that in through storylines and writing. He went out to the UFC and kicked people's asses, became the champion, no big deal, beat Captain America to do it, just chilling. And then stops that, comes back to WWE. So he has that addition of realness to him, of badassery, that I'm still yet to see him be in a ring across from anybody, that includes Undertaker, that I believe could beat him in a real fight.
Yeah. No, and I think they've tried to do it, right? But the problem is they haven't had all the right pieces. It's like Matt Riddle, legit UFC record.
Okay. What's his name? Big E.
Yeah.
I would say Big E. And Braun early on. Remember when Braun first had his first appearance versus Brock? That was the closest I've seen to all right, this is going to be awesome.
But do you think that given... Look, Brock... And this is, again, my knowledge of someone who didn't follow as closely when he debuted. But my impression is that Brock has always been very tightly in control of Brock's career. Brock left when he wanted to leave, did UFC when he wanted to UFC. Mm-hmm. Difference with Braun, Big E, these are guys, Performance Center, always under Vince's thumb.
And yes, where nobody could be bigger than the company. Yeah. I would argue that when Brock was there, that was still somewhat the norm. Because Brock left, they did give the keys to the castle to Cena.
Yeah.
But let me be clear. If Brock did not leave, I don't see that happening. I see John still becoming John Cena, but on a slightly lesser scale. I really do. Because Brock did not like him. He did not like him. And I could see Brock putting his thumb over him a little bit, slightly. Because he was still immature. He was still young. He would have gotten over it eventually and say, shit, I can make money with this kid. What the hell am I doing? Yeah. So at the end of the day, that's definitely where Brock is today. Brock puts over everybody if you let him.
This tonight was surprisingly solid. I really was not looking forward to SmackDown tonight. I saw it as an obligation.
Yeah, me too. Same thing.
Gonna watch this. We're gonna do the podcast. It'll be nice to see Matt. We could talk about Thanksgiving, catch up with the chat room. Don't have to worry about Raj. He's off somewhere counting his money. Drinking some Pinot Gris. That's what he calls it, Pinot Gris. He's one of those guys.
Do you think he does a front dive into his Scrooge McDuck chest of, what would you call it, vault of coins?
Cannonballs, but he's up tonight like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and he's like, I'm getting everyone's gifts on sale. Got to save as much of that cash as possible.
Asking everybody for their passcodes and stuff to save Black Friday.
Yeah, be like, what, look at you. Better have your wish list updated by Black Friday. I do all my shopping then. If not, you're getting an Instapot.
Wait, what's an Instapot?
Instapot, pressure cooker, slow cooker. Have you used one of those? They're crazy. So the slow cooker is one thing, right? Slow cooker, you get the crock pot, right? You put it in there, cook stew for like 12 hours, turns out great.
Oh, yeah.
Pressure cooker, so the Instapot, you put the lid, the pressure valve, and you got to let this thing depressurize, but it'll cook like a stew or a roast, or, you can make rice in like 3 minutes in the Instapot because it cooks it at the high pressure. It changes the atmosphere inside the pot. So it cooks stuff super fast and super flavorful, but it's scary because if the pressure, I'm always worried about the pressure or tips and it's going to go off like a bomb and it's going to blow up my kitchen. Right. So it's very dangerous when you're cooking with Instapot. A lot of people swear by it. How was your Thanksgiving, man?
Oh, we didn't really have one, honestly.
Okay,
I'll tell everybody why in a couple weeks, but yeah.
It's okay. I am very full from the leftovers today. We said we weren't doing a big deal this year, but of course we ended up making way too much food. Watched a lot of movies. It's been good. Finally watched Searching the other night. You ever have that thing where people recommend something to you so much?
Okay, so last night we were looking on Netflix.
Yeah.
For all these series, I said, hey, hon, can we watch Netflix before we go to sleep? Because Glenn told me there's a bunch of cool series on there. Let's look through the list. Yeah. I couldn't find any. What was I supposed to be looking for?
Well, some of them. So The Boys is on Amazon Prime. The Mandalorian's on Disney Plus.
We need to slow down. Write them down this time.
I'll send you a list.
The Boys.
The Boys is on Amazon.
All right.
I don't know why I said called it Amazon. Mandalorian, the Boba Fett thing is on Disney Plus. But just on principle, Matt's like, no, I'm not watching it. What else is good? I'll send you a list. I'll send you a list of stuff. But the new Cobra Kai is going to be on Netflix in 6 short weeks.
I got stuck watching Lucifer again. That's my favorite show. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, it's tough. We don't rewatch stuff a lot. My wife rewatches stuff a lot. I can guarantee you that's
what she does. She watched it. I go, you've already seen this. Why? Come on.
I'm going to go downstairs and my wife is going to be watching Friends or like The Wedding Singer or something. I'm like, you've seen this a million times.
So Seinfeld and Friends, I can rewatch all of those because they're just as funny to me today.
I like to watch new stuff though all the time. Occasionally I'll rewatch it. They're like when I was cooking yesterday, I was like I wanted like a background show, so we put on the movie Vice Versa, with Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage. I was like, this is good. I'm cooking, I'm half paying attention. It's funny, and there's scenes I remember, yada yada. You want stuff like that that's passive sometimes. But we spend so much time. It's like, remember do you ever have dates that ended in the video store? Because you went to the video store, you spent 3 hours trying to decide what to watch, walking around the video store?
No.
Oh, I had many a date that just like, that's what we did. We went to the video store. We looked for a movie. We spent 3 hours in the video store saying, have you ever seen this? And then we had a conversation about movies. Like we never actually rented it.
Do you think it's possible that was their stall tactics? Because they did not want to have to go home and...
These are people I was in relationships with. This wasn't a first date thing.
It was a first date? Okay, sorry.
That'd be a weird first date. Like, hey, let's go to the video store. Look, here's the thing about a first date.
That's true.
Let me get a little bit of Glenn W.O. here with you. The thing about a first date this is why first dates are fantastic, because you got your greatest hits, baby. You got all the movies, all the music, all the stuff you love that they've never seen. Yeah. You got your greatest hits. You got all the jokes. You got the stuff, your observations that are the most insightful, the jokes that are the funniest, the best movies that they've never seen, the best music they've never heard.
You were telling jokes?
Yeah, you say something, you're like, oh, I just said this for the first time. And it's like, no, I've said this 100 times before, but it's always still. They don't know because it's a first date.
How dare you leave out your restaurant game?
Yeah, you to the restaurant. And you're just like, oh, yeah, I've been here like once or twice before. No big deal. It's like, meanwhile, I'll bring every date to that restaurant. Every date, because it's awesome. No, I'm like, yeah, the greatest hits, man. That's why new relationships are awesome, because you just sit there and you got your game, you got your gimmick. But no, when you're going to the video store, that's like, we've been together so long, I no longer have anything new to show you. You don't have anything new to show me. We got to go find something to salvage this relationship, and that's the video store.
Dude, I would argue nowadays with tech, it almost not encourages you, but it happens, especially when you've been married for a while. It almost encourages you. You'll be watching movies together, TV shows together, but yet that phone comes out. And you start. I'll be watching YouTube, even though I'm supposed to be watching this show. Larissa will be on her TikTok. I was like, ugh, like, what are we doing here? We'll just watch this together.
That's why sometimes we purposely watch stuff with subtitles, or we watch stuff that's like
they're always on. They're always on.
Yeah. Well, no, but we watch something like
My
a foreign
house.
movie where it's like it's a phone down show. You can't look away or you're going to be lost. You know what I mean? There's just other stuff I don't care about. Like I'll just put on. So we're watching Searching the other night, and Searching was good because that all takes place on a computer, and you're like watching John's show, but you're watching him do like video calls and typing stuff into Google searches and looking at his daughter's Facebook to try. His daughter goes missing. He's trying to find her. It was a fantastic movie. People have been recommending this to me for years, and for some reason I just didn't want to watch it. I finally watched it the other night. And I was like, "Oh, this is a fantastic movie." So that was really good. But no, we've watched some good stuff the last couple of days. It's been good, but I have to watch the new season of The Mandalorian. Eric Rothwell, $4.99, saying $5 to recommend Mandalorian to Matt. It really is some of the best Star Wars ever. Believe the hype. Matt, you don't strike me as a huge Star Wars guy.
I'm embarrassed to say it, but I'm not. I don't hate it. I've watched them all, the movies at least.
All of them? Like Rogue One?
Okay, so not since like the new one started coming out.
Okay.
But like what was it? Empire Strikes Back. It was the original Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. I saw those all live in the movie theaters, had the figures, loved it back then. I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't like it as much.
The prequel sucked. I mean, the first 1.5 sucked. Like, Revenge of the Sith was good with the big fight on the lava planet. Rogue One, I really like. That's the one where it's like the team that stole the Death Star plans. It's like kind of a downer. Like, that was good. But no, I get it. I mean, Star Wars, you want to talk about something that has been shoved down our throats our entire lives. Like, I absolutely... I felt that way about when I was a kid was the Beatles. Like, I wasn't a Beatles fan until I was an adult because as a kid, everybody was still talking about the Beatles. And I was like, I'm kind of averse to anything.
Ironically, though, G.I. Joe I loved. Transformers I loved. Couldn't get enough of Transformers.
But again, that was your thing, though. Star Wars was everywhere,
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Like what it is about... You know what it is? Star Wars is like you could go and you could meet a kid that you didn't like as a kid. And that was a big deal when you meet a kid and you didn't like a kid. And he'd be like really into Star Wars. He'd be like, I was really into Star Wars. That's my thing. Like, it'd be like people, when you start realizing that people you don't like the things you like, that's really a head trip as a kid.
Oh my God, yeah.
Really a head trip. I'll tell my story again another time about Metallica and why, like, everyone I knew that liked Metallica in high school, it's like a Hesher burnout asshole. So I didn't want to listen to Metallica for the longest time just because of the association. I am Air Buck 99 saying, Matt watched the new DuckTales with son. I watched an episode of the new DuckTales. It was okay. Were you a big fan of the original DuckTales?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. The new one is good. It has the song.
Woo woo.
Yes. They might solve a mystery or rewrite history. So anyhow, this podcast, Matt, I get to do my greatest hits. I get to do observations and things that I say that I've thought for years, but our audience hasn't heard them before. So I can pretend like I just came up with it off the top of my head. Yes. That's the reason why I do this show. Anyhow, everyone's talking about cartoons now in the chat, which happens a lot. Okay, so it's Thanksgiving weekend. Everybody spend time with your families, chastise them like Roman Reigns did Jay tonight. And Monday night, let us know how that goes. When we come back here, me, Matt Morgan, Raj Giri to talk about Monday Night Raw, the last Raw of the month of November. As we head into December, 2020 is almost over. Matt Morgan, take a nap.
Bed.
Get some rest. We'll catch you back here next time on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.